Hello everyone, welcome to the last session of polymers. In this session, we will be looking into mainly vulcanization of rubber and some biodegradable polymers. Let's begin the session. Firstly, copolymerization. So, copolymerization is actually polymerization reaction in which mixture of more than one monomeric species is allowed to polymerize and form a copolymer. Now, this can happen by chain growth polymerization or by step growth polymerization. Okay. One of the example we can see here, that is of 1,3-butadiene with styrene, which gives you butadiene styrene copolymer, also known as BUNA S. Okay, so note down, butadiene styrene copolymer is BUNA S. So copolymers have quite different properties, okay, from their homopolymers. Like for example, here the butadiene styrene copolymer is quite tough and is quite good substitute for natural rubber. Okay, and because of all that, it is used in manufacturing of auto tires, floor tiles, footwear components, cable insulation, etc., etc. Okay. Now, let's talk about rubber. So, rubber, we know there is natural rubber, which is coming from the bark of the tree. Okay, like the bark of the rubber tree, I think. Yeah. So, rubber is a linear polymer of isoprene, that is 2-methyl-1,3-butadiene, and is also called as cis-1,4-polyisopropene. You can see sister, okay, cis. So, they are always in the same side. If it was trans, they were opposite side. Okay, so this is cis polymer. So this is the structure of natural rubber. Now the cis polyisoprene molecule consists of various chains which are held together by weak van der Waals force interaction and is a coiled structure. This one, okay, and same is the case of isoprene, and thus it can be stretched like a spring, sorry, and exhibit elastic property. So it is highly elastic here. So we need to improve its mechanical property. Let's talk about it. The property is, let's say when you heat the rubber, it becomes soft. Okay, it becomes brittle at low temperature. So and it shows a high water absorption capacity. Basically, it absorbs a lot of water inside. Okay, and it is also soluble in non-polar solvent, and it's non-resistant to attack by oxidizing agents. So you see, there are a lot of problems associated with natural rubber. So what we do, we vulcanize the rubber. Okay, so the process is actually improving its physical property. All these properties are improved. Now what we do, actually we take some sulfur and we try to do cross link among it, like among the natural rubber. Okay, so that is making the rubber much more stiffer. Okay, like usually in manufacturing of tire rubber, we put 5% of sulfur we use for cross linking. So this is actually the process of vulcanization of rubber to improve all the property which natural rubber is having, and to make it much more stiffer and useful, we use sulfur as cross linking agent. This is the process of vulcanization of rubber. Now, synthetic rubber. So synthetic rubber is any vulcanized rubber like polymer, okay, which is actually capable of getting stretched twice its length. Okay, so if you have length L, so it can stretch up to twice its length. However, it returns to its original shape and size after the external stretching force is released. So it has a property that you can stretch it and then it will come back. Some preparation of synthetic rubber, you can see neoprene. It is made by polymerization of chloroprene. Note down, this is chloroprene. There is chlorine here, CH2 double bond C. So this is kind of 1,3-butadiene type of structure, but instead of H, what we are having is chlorine, so chloroprene. So if it undergoes polymerization, what we get is neoprene. Very simple. So if someone asks what is the monomeric unit of neoprene, it will be chloroprene. So it has a superior resistance to vegetable and mineral oil, and hence it is used for manufacturing of conveyor belt, gaskets and hoses. So it is also kind of used as a sealing material. Next is Buna N. So Buna is again 1,3-butadiene For N, it is acrylonitrile. Okay, so with acrylonitrile, when 1,3-butadiene does a copolymerization reaction, we get BUNA-N. Okay, here also we require a peroxide catalyst to initiate the reaction. Okay, apart from all these, apart from all these polymers, we also have biodegradable polymer, which is actually after this. So first thing is molecular mass of polymers. So molecular mass of polymers are quite variable. Okay, there is no fixed value. Okay, polythene is going to have this value, okay, of molecular mass. So it always depends on the polymer that we have. So usually we use average masses. Okay, obviously you have studied this in the chapter solutions, how to calculate the molar masses of macromolecule. So if you haven't, just go back to the chapter and try to figure out how to calculate the molar masses of macromolecule. And actually all this can be molecular masses of polymer can be easily determined by chemical and physical methods. Last part is that of biodegradable polymer. Biodegradable polymers are the one which are naturally degrading themselves. Okay, so one of the example is poly beta hydroxy butyrate co beta hydroxy valerate. So valerate, PHBV. Please do remember this name. It's a exam question. 3-hydroxybutanoic acid with 3-hydroxypentanoic acid gives you PHBV. Apart from this, we have another biodegradable polymer, that is nylon to nylon 6. So if you see, this is nylon 2, so 2 carbon, nylon 6, 6 carbon. So you can see glycine with amino caproic acid gives you nylon to nylon 6. One side there are 2 carbon atoms and the other side there are 6 carbon atoms. So this is nylon to nylon 6 biodegradable polymer. This is the last part. Okay, so here there are the names of polymer monomeric units. Okay, I want you go through this very well. Most of them we have already gone through. The structures are important from competitive exam point of view. Monomeric unit and the uses are much more important from your board point of view. That's it, guys. Thanks a lot for watching this. See you in the class. Bye bye.